Welcome back to WCW Nitro on Total Extreme Wrestling 9. It's the WCW 2000 series here on Spike Power Driver. My name is Anders, and usually this is the part where we say we're trying to book WCW 2000 in a realistic way, but also using a spreadsheet with random booking generated ideas generated. This one, for example. But something absolutely daft has happened in game, so we're completely ignoring the spreadsheet because we've had to rewrite the show anyway. Because, well, basically loads of people have walked out and asked for their release, and then when it wasn't granted, said they were just going to sit out their contract and not be used at all. So, we've had a few people leave. Let's check the company news for who was exactly left and what's happened, because, well, it's quite a lot. So before last episode, obviously, Savage left, one of the Armstrong brothers left, the Hollywood Brother, Barbarian. They all left because their contract was up at the beginning of April. Now, after Nitro on the 3rd of April, as we got to the weekend, so just literally a day before this episode is being filmed, or this episode of Nitro is being filmed, about 10 people, maybe a little bit more, came and asked for their release. Included, who haven't been released, Goldberg, who's not even been on TV because he's injured. He's pissed off that much that he wants to leave. Mike Awesome, who's only just joined the company. And I think Sid Vicious, again, has asked to leave. But he hasn't been he's just gone. He's still here, rather. So Kimberly Page asked to be released, and I said, yes, fine. So did Haku. Yeah, okay, fine. Buddy Lee Parker, no skin off my nose. Then Chris Benoit, who, bearing in mind, only signed a new contract in January, asked for his release. I said no, and he then said, fine, I'll stay at home then. Okay, so I just released him, because I'm not, there's no point. Go and wrestle for the WWF, whatever. Disco Inferno did the same thing, bearing in mind he was about to have a tag team title match literally at the pay-per-view in 6 days. Disco? Go screw yourself. Whatever. And then Scott Steiner. Literally, Scott Steiner, who we've just put the US title on, and then vacated it, obviously. But we were going to put the US title back on him. We were going to push to the heavyweight title picture. We've got big plans for Scott Steiner in the year 2000. But now, he's gone. So... oh. So with all that happening... we've got a pay-per-view in 6 days that I've had to slightly change things up for. Thankfully, none of the men in the six-man match for the heavyweight title have actually left. Sid tried, but we told him to just sort himself out. So what we've done instead is we've brought in a new authority figure. We've obviously got a US title tournament starting, which will finish at Spring Stampede. And we've still got that six-man chaos for the heavyweight title to handle as well. So I'm not going to rewrite the show. Sorry, I know people like that part of the show where we go in, get a random idea, rewrite things on the fly. No, the game already hates me enough without me doing that. Can I just get through to the pay-per-view, and then after Spring Stampede we'll go back to the normal format? With that in mind, let me know in the comments some thoughts to rejuvenate the random generated booking ideas list, because a lot of them talk about Hogan, for example, who's gone. And the NWO, which is pretty much dead. And the Horseman, which we brought back, it failed to do anything, and he's now gone. And then there was another stable, Madness Inc., that came, went, and disappeared without anyone even noticing. Some fun things that have happened to the relationship between Ike's Wright and Disco, but Disco's gone. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, there's no David Flair on this show, but he's been popping in and out despite losing a loser leaves WCW match. But there's lots of good things that have happened. There's lots of bad things that have happened. So let me know some thoughts in the comments. Just some ideas that we can add to this list. There's about 40, 50 odd ideas on that list already. And if it's not on there, I'll add it on and we'll try and get it used in the next few episodes. But tonight, we're not doing that. And at Spring Stampede, we're just going to get through the show, essentially. So the Nitro of the 17th of April, which will be on literally a week today, because that's how we do things, we'll go back to using the generated ideas, because it's chaos. Right, let's go. Run Nitro. I'll love your thoughts on the show as well. It probably looks like we booked it using the random booking generator, so who cares? Right, we start the show with a returning Eric Bischoff. He's back, and he's better than ever. He starts the show and says he's come direct to the arena from Turner offices in Atlanta, and he has a message for Ric Flair, obviously who's the current WCW commissioner. He calls him out to the ring. The Nature Boss arrives and doesn't look too happy about it. Bischoff tells Flair that due to his poor performance as WCW commissioner, and the fact that everyone's just walked out, not Flair's fault, probably, he's being stripped of his official position and will now simply be an in-ring talent. Bischoff is replacing him effective immediately and announces that an 8-man tournament for the vacant US title is going to start tonight, and tells Flair to get his gear on because he will be in action later on. And there's also another little bit which I can't seem to scroll down to because I put too much... Oh, there we go. Just had to double click it. Flair is fuming. He grabs Bischoff by the throat, but Arn Anderson rushes in and stops his best friend before Flair gets himself fired. So Flair is back to being an in-ring competitor. Eric Bischoff is back to being the boss. All things have been returned to normal. And it gets a 58 and the crowd love it. Hot and rising. Ric Flair puts in a fantastic performance. Eric Bischoff does a great job as well. Their angle idea really helped it. Everything good. Off to a strong start. Thank you. Let's move on. We head backstage to see Kevin Nash and Scott Hall arriving at the arena. There's 2/3 of the remaining NWO 2000. Mike Tenay attempts to get a word with them, but Nash just brushes him off and tells him to stand his ass at the door and wait for Sid Vicious to arrive. The Outsiders need to make sure that Sid is on the same page as them tonight. Obviously, we've got a 6-man tag main event with the 6 competitors from the heavyweight title match at Spring Stampede all going at it. There's only 2,400 people in attendance tonight, by the way. I get like 500-600, I think, in shows on the local to global save. So that's how badly we've fallen. Anyway, both Nash and Hall doing good. I mean, Nash is still using subtle mannerisms for a future face turn. We've been doing that for ages. We're not going to turn him yet. I don't know when we're ever going to turn him. But anyway, that gets a 47. Not great, but still okay. Eric Bischoff is then backstage with Mean Gene. He confirms that the 8-man US title tournament will start next, and the new champion will be crowned at Spring Stampede. In the tournament, we've got Hoovy and Kidman, Vampiro and Canyon, Kurt Henig and Rick Steiner, not Scott Steiner, he's gone, Bam Bam Bigelow and Jeff Jarrett. So a nice mix of people. Obviously, Kidman is the current Cruiserweight champion, so he could be a double champion by the end of the week. Bischoff enjoyed his freedom without script, gets a 47. It's okay, crowd's still hot, that's fine. Next up, opening contest, great match. Absolutely great match. Billy Kidman defeats Hoovy in 7 minutes and 50 seconds after a shooting star press. 57 it gets there. Both men putting in good performances. Commentary doing well. Kidman and Tori have good chemistry. Crowd gets hotter, up to white hot. Great start to the show. Some really strong angles. A cracking in-ring contest. This is a very positive start to Nitro. I'm not sure how long that will continue. But before that error potentially happens, Sid Vicious arrives. He completely ignores Mike Tenay's attempt at a question and heads straight into the Outsiders' locker room. Are they going to be on the same page tonight? Probably. Probably not. Who knows? Not me. I just booked it. Next, 40 for that one, by the way. Alex Wright has a tag team title match rather, at Spring Stampede, but he doesn't have a partner anymore. He needs to find himself a partner, and he's on the hunt around the locker room, trying to find someone who will team with him, with his big bratwurst. And Disco Inferno's gone, so screw him. Dance Wunderkind lasted a week. Never mind. 39, we'll see how that develops later. Next in-ring match, it's Vampiro and Canyon, and Vampiro gets the victory and moves on in the tournament. Canyon's got a hot move, and he's getting better at his gimmick, but he can't get the victory today. He gets a 55, though, which is not quite at the same... Well, it's pretty much at the same level as Kidman Hoovy, isn't it? But again, strong in-ring matches. Maybe this is the turning point. Everyone leaving means we can start putting on matches like this that gets us a little bit better ratings than we have been seeing. We'll see. Next up, Flair kicking a massive fuss backstage. He's screaming at Arn Anderson to find out who he's facing tonight. When Shane Douglas of the Revolution walks in laughing and a shit-eating grin on his face, he tells Flair that he'll be facing Mike Awesome tonight as a warm-up match, but he'll be facing the franchise at Spring Stampede. It's a match that Shane Douglas has been wanting for years. Flair's visibly angry at Douglas, but Arn stops him before the franchise walks out, grinning to himself once again. These pair doing nicely in this segment, a 58. Whew. Yes, words. Booker T slightly lets the side down a little bit, but he tells Mean Gene that he'll prove once and for all that he is the better brother. He will let Stevie Ray go quietly into the night after Spring Stampede as Booker moves on to bigger and better things. Now, if I hadn't already been forced to have Booker and Stevie turning on each other at every blooming angle we can possibly do, and then having a match at Spring Stampede, Booker would be in the US title tournament and probably would be winning it if he was still a face. But he's a heel now, and we might still insert him into the US title picture. But it's freed up a little bit further up the card with Hogan going. So maybe he can start weaseling his way into the world title picture and take the spot that Scott Steiner decided to leave, even though Steiner had just turned face. Anyway, next up, that gets a 41. Another great in-ring matches tonight are doing really good. We're giving them a little bit more time to breathe and a little bit of a good, strong performance from everyone involved. Kurt Henig gets the victory, though, over Rick Steiner, unable to keep the performances up that his brother had with the US title, so Rick is out. And Henig moves forward after Henningplex gets a 55. All three matches so far in the mid-50s. This is boding well for a really strong card. It had to happen eventually, but still, the crowd very hot. Alex Wright, looking for a partner, found Rey Mysterio backstage, talks to him. He has a history with the Revolution and is more than happy to team with Wright to win the titles on Sunday. Stacey Keibler is there. Obviously, she's in a relationship with Rey Mysterio. Who really knows? It's a bit of a love triangle with David Flair, even though David Flair is technically left the company. But he's still been around a lot. Never mind. 33, okay, not too bad. Let's bounce back with an angle seeing Luger, Sting and DDP all standing by with Mean Gene. They're showing a united front tonight on Nitro. DDP knows that they need to perform as a unit to make sure that the outsiders don't get the victory, because they will be performing as a unit. Sting's willing to put personal issues aside to ensure victory going into Spring Stampede. And Luger knows that on Sunday everyone will be gunning for him, but tonight is all about teamwork. Paige loved having a no script. Luger didn't, even though he's the one that asked for it. 51, okay. Probably hoping for a little bit better, but still, nice, middle of the road. And another 55. This US title tournament has produced bangers. Jeff Jarrett gets the victory, unsurprisingly really, over Bam Bam with the stroke. Both men, solid performances, 55 rating. Jarrett moves forward into the semi-finals, and we'll see who will face each other in the semi-finals later, because Bischoff's going to tell them all face-to-face. So that's Jarrett moving on, 55 again. Malenko and Saturn can't really cut promos, but they're with Mean Gene. They don't care about Alex Wright and that he's found a partner in Rey Mysterio. They'll beat them both up and show that the Revolution are on top of WCW. This is an angle designed, clearly, to bring the crowd down and make them a little bit more settled ahead of our next contest. Honest. It's not just a poorly rated angle. Next, Bischoff tells the four semi-finalists that he has made the draw for the semi-finals and the matches at Spring Stampede have been set. Vampiro will take on Kidman, Henig will take on Jarrett, and all four men argue about who's going to win. Bischoff tells them to save it for Sunday. The new champion needs to win 2 matches in one night. It only gets a 43, but it's still pretty good. Everyone improvised well, apart from Billy Kidman, who was a bit poor without any dialogue to follow. But generally speaking, an okay angle. Bischoff has been worth the money so far tonight. 43, not too bad. Next up, another solid match. Not too bad. Ric Flair defeats Mike Awesome by DQ after Shane Douglas runs in and attacks him. You kind of expected that to happen. Flair puts in a solid performance, still getting penalised for his poor form. But a 50, despite the DQ and only 5 minutes, is good enough for me. Obviously, Flair, Douglas at the pay-per-view should be a sleeper match, and hopefully we'll get some good ratings out of it. If Flair can drop a 61 in the throwaway against Awesome, hopefully Douglas can bring something better out of him. But that's good. Both men, I'm happy with that. Next up, Douglas and Awesome are putting the boots into Flair. Franchise directs traffic. Awesome bomb through a table is the end result for the Nature Boy. Nobody came out to save him. Awesome getting buried. Gimmick. 45's not bad. Hopefully would have expected a little bit better, but it does the job to get us towards Spring Stampede. We've had to kind of hotshot Flair into something. Douglas is kind of on standby. He's still technically the hardcore champion as well. Maybe we'll give Flair the hardcore title. I mean, stranger things have happened in this save. Crowd's very hot, which is bizarre. Main event is a cracker. The fans, however, are getting bored at the idea of Kevin Nash turning face. I've left it too long. Cracking bout. Sid and the Outsiders get the victory with Nash pinning DDP after a jackknife in 8.5 minutes. Nothing dodgy going on with the result. Everyone puts in strong performances. Luger is the weak link, essentially. But a 73 main event is, well, it's good job. I've got to make a decision as to whether I turn Kevin Nash now. It's kind of just holding out hope that something would happen that would open itself up for a Nash face turn. But it's kind of gone on too long and the fans are just bored of the idea of him turning face. Well, maybe that's how we'll end Spring Stampede. Who knows? I've not actually got any idea who I'm going to have winning the match at Spring Stampede. Probably going to change the title. That's the idea of having a 6-way, so we can just switch it up. But where we go and who we go with, I don't really know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as who you'd like to see out of these 6 men. But honestly, by the time I read them, I probably would have already booked the show anyway. So it might not matter. But let me know anyway. And then you can claim I've copied your idea. Why not? 73, excellent. Main event, brawl continues. Outsiders have the edge over Luger and DDP, while Sid's looking to send Sting through the announce table. Sting reverses it, and sends Sid crashing through the table himself. He then scales to the top rope, launches himself off with a giant splash, takes out all 4 men, and Nitro ends with a Stinger on top and the crowd going wild. Maybe that suggests Sting will be winning at the pay-per-view. Maybe it doesn't. Kevin Nash still hinting at a face turn. Crowd getting bored with it still. 52, not a brilliant way to end the show, but that 73 should give us a really strong rating. 59. Now, I've got very little memory of how good the rest of the shows have been, because Nitro just goes in one ear and out the other, basically, every week. As you can probably tell from the booking. But a 59 is good, I think. Like, that's not bad. We made money on the show. Popularity recap. I mean, why is it 59 actually? Is 59 bad? I kind of got the impression that 59 was good, but looking at all the popularity going down there, maybe 59 is not good. Why was it only 59? We got a main event of 73. And all the other matches were in the 50s, and the angles weren't bad either. Like, maybe that's actually a really poor rating. Hang on. I don't care about Scott Vick. Show history. What was last week's Nitro? Last week's Nitro was a 63 and it was nowhere near as good. Now that rating doesn't make sense to me. That really doesn't. Like, what's that all about? No, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I've got it in my head that 59 was good, and I mean, it's not bad. But the shows we were putting on ahead of Uncensored were better. 265s that month, a 64. We were doing really well. But that, I'm surprised actually, a 73, and we only get a 59 overall. Like, best matches in the save, that was it. That was the best match. I'm a little bit at a loss, honestly. Anyway, regardless, we've got Spring Stampede coming up in 5 days. And we've got the US title tournament. We've got Booker and Stevie. We've got the 6-way for the heavyweight title. And then we've got the tag title match as well. All going down in 5 days. So you can see that here on the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. A lot of people are, but a lot of people aren't. So get subscribed. We need more subscribers, obviously. So I can get monetized on this channel, because I'm not yet. So please do that. Please like the video. Share it with all your friends. Comment down below. I've asked you lots of times for different comments. So please make sure you have done. If you haven't yet, go and do it, because it will help with the engagement and help the channel grow. And if the channel grows, I do more videos. Check out the rest of the series on the playlist. Check out the Local to Global series as well. We will start doing AEW videos from All In 2018 at some point. Just not had the time to put some plans together. I just had the idea for doing the one show, and now there's been calls to do a series on it, and there's been lots of views on the video, so I will do it at some point. But until then, WCW 2000, Local to Global 1992, which is into 95 now. So get watching those 2 series. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you at the weekend for Spring Stampede, and then Nitro straight away the night after. Unless, of course, we go bankrupt at some point, because we're losing money hand over fist so far in this save. But thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Here's the champions just to finish the episode off. And I will see you there at Spring Stampede. Make sure you buy it on pay-per-view and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.